Hello, and welcome to our very first #WeConnect. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We are excited to be here and present to you on our first day of our WeConnect webinar series. I am Jenna Woodland, the proud superintendent of Evergreen Park School District 124. Thank you so much to everyone who is attending, and this will all be recorded for future reference to really join us on our journey and our strategic plan. I wanted to first give a shout out to Dan Lee, our tech director, who supported us in making this happen, as we are using technology in making sure that we can connect with our community and our teachers. So I am Jenna Woodland, the superintendent of Evergreen Park. I am a teacher, a coach, a mentor at heart. It's who I am. It's what I believe in. It is my everyday why. I wake up each and every day to serve a community that I believe in, that I'm just so fortunate believes in me just as much in return. And I have found my passion and my purpose in Evergreen Park School District 124. So just a little bit about why we're doing our WeConnect series. Well, first of all, I love a really good theme. So I'm going to present our slideshow that we're going to walk you through today and introduce to you our very special #WeConnect webinar series. So into action and to make sure that our journey really is tied to everything that we're doing. A connection to ensure that we're having a connection to our community and our cohesiveness. And to ensure that she can make her connection with the community. So I'd like to introduce you to Dr. She is our guest speaker for the night, and she is our director of curriculum. Ashley has 20 years in education. She is a teacher, a principal, a director of curriculum. She's the mom of 3 kids who provided purpose each day. And her favorite quote, "Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intentions, sincere effort, and intelligent execution."
Yes, thank you. That is for sure my quote. I feel like we should strive for excellence in everything that we do every single day. But I do not believe that excellence happens accidentally. I believe that when we have a good plan and when we're intentional with the work that we do, it makes excellence possible. So that is definitely the quote that I subscribe to every single day. I can start by talking about the where curriculum and instruction kind of lies in our strategic plan. There was a whole host of goals that we had that aligned with strategic planning, and we seemed to get quite a few of them. So I can go through those goals. Dr. Woodland, if you would like that.
Yes.
Perfect. So the goal areas aligned to strategic planning first and foremost began with an instructional framework that we're going to kind of go into detail with tonight. That instructional framework really would help us to align what instruction should look like throughout the district. So that was our goal 3A. 3B was to really take our curriculum and map it out and align it both vertically and horizontally. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail in some of the work that we've already started in that area as well. 3C was 21st century learning opportunities. We really heard from the community this desire to expand our offerings and really be able to bring in some additional things like coding and foreign languages and more STEAM offerings and things like that. So really looking at what we're currently offering within the classroom already and working to expand some of those things and some of those opportunities for our students. And 3D was technology. We always want to provide our students with the best technology that we can at all times, and streamline some of those things that we are currently using, making sure that what we have that we are putting in front of students every day is the best of the best, and making sure that it is aligned with the work that we're doing in the classroom. So looking at all of our technology and resources and making sure that it's all there to enhance learning for students at Evergreen Park. Our goal 3D was, or I'm sorry, 3E was looking at student achievement. I mean, that's what we are here for every single day. So making sure that we are providing students with opportunities to show their best selves and improve student success in all areas, and making sure that the curriculum that we're putting in front of them and the materials that we are putting in front of them align to that goal. So increasing academic growth and achievement for all students across the district. And finally was common assessments. That goes along with our curriculum planning. Once we have done a lot of this vertical and horizontal alignment, we'll really be able to work together with our teachers to come up with common assessments, ensuring that students at every building are assessed in a way that is common, with common expectations at all grade levels and in all content areas. So that was a lot of goals that came out of strategic planning, but we're really excited to get started on them and to be tackling them every day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carlson, for walking us through all of those main goal areas. So the purpose of today's #WeConnect series, if you see with our theme, is to really focus on a couple of areas and make a connection to what this looks like and sounds like in our classrooms. So Dr. Carlson and I really determined that it would be best to just start with 3A and 3B, talk about our connection to our instructional framework and our curriculum alignment. So our goal, we have this beautiful district implementation team, and I'm going to walk you through the purpose of this team is to really create an opportunity for teacher voice in the decision-making process. So last school year, we embarked on a journey. We were both new together and explored classrooms with teachers and went to staff meetings to meet with teachers to learn, what does teaching and learning look like in our classrooms? And from those listening tours, we created a district implementation team that will really develop into school-based teams to support in driving instruction in our classroom. And a lot of times we have curriculum that is our resource that we use to teach. And we need to partner that with what do we believe in Evergreen Park is good instruction, good curriculum, and good assessment to create a beautiful environment for our kids that's really directly tied to what our teachers believe in. And that was really our goal, was to create an implementation team that would support us in doing this work. Dr. Carlson and I both land in the category that our teachers know best. They interact with our kids each and every day. And something that I learned that I love about Evergreen Park is that our community and our staff really work together, and we want to continue to support them on that journey.
Absolutely.
So our next step is to really kind of walk you through our instructional framework. And Dr. Carlson is going to do that for us.
Absolutely. So this district implementation team began meeting last spring. And we had many stakeholders that wear many hats from across the district. And as Dr. Woodland said, we wanted to really determine what we value in the classroom and what pieces of instruction we feel demonstrate the most high quality classroom experience for our students. And so as a team, we began to meet and look at what we want it to look like in all content areas across all grade levels. What pieces of a lesson, what pieces of instruction are most important. And we came away with some key buckets. Things like curriculum and what the materials look like. That's obviously very important. That lesson launch, what draws students into a lesson and hooks them and gets them engaged right away. Whole group instruction, what parts of whole group instruction are, what should whole group instruction look like? Small group instruction that offers time for differentiation for students that have different needs. and then what assessment looks like, and finally lesson closure. So all of those pieces we felt were vital in our instruction that we share with kids. And so we wanted to look at what that looks like when it is fully implemented and going great, and what it looks like when it might be a little bit more partially implemented. So this instructional framework then is able to serve as a guide for teachers as they are teaching every single day. It is able to serve as kind of a jumping off point for our instructional coaches, and it will give them a tool that they can use with teachers. But then almost most importantly, it provides us with a roadmap for our professional development. So it allows us as district leaders and school leaders to really be able to look and see what we want to, or what we need to be based on the data from this tool, what we need to be basing our professional development on. What are the different needs of our different buildings at different times? So that is our instructional framework.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carlson. I stopped sharing my screen just for a couple minutes too, because I thought we would do something fun. Ashley and I have something in common that I thought I would share with everyone. So I taught 5th grade. And what grade did you teach, Ashley?
I taught 5th grade as well.
Isn't that so funny? And one of my favorite things that I loved about teaching 5th grade was just my connection to kids and being able to teach instruction and allowed to teach instruction in a solid way that really connected to the curriculum. So I'm going to put you on the spot, but I feel like you can answer the question. So what was your favorite part about teaching 5th grade?
Oh my goodness, there were so many things. I loved that age group to begin with. I loved the fact that they were still excited to learn and still very much enjoyed being in the classroom. But they were also able to be independent and to watch them grow from what I felt was like an elementary student at the beginning of the year to what was definitely more of a middle school student by the end of the year. I just loved watching that transition. I felt like I saw it every single year in all of the students that I had in my classroom. So I loved that connection that I had with them.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. It was a little like intermittent break. I knew you could handle it, right?
For sure.
All right, now back to the fun stuff. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'm going to represent my screen so we can continue to talk about our instructional framework and our lovely segue to professional development. So professional development is something that I just believe in and is directly tied to supporting our teachers. So it's this concept that we want to be able to provide teachers the opportunity to interact with one another. And it's one of the highest forms of professional development, that when teachers are given the opportunity to sit around a table together and talk about best practices in teaching and learning, that they learn so much from collaborating with one another on effective instructional practices and the standards that they teach by grade level. So just like Ashley and I have that in common, we both taught 5th grade. We want our teachers to be able to collaborate with one another and have alignment with vertical curriculum and really have the opportunity to connect. And that's something that we directly heard from teachers as well. So professional development. So this is one of my favorite analogies, and I always give this analogy that, we could throw a dart at a dartboard and we could hope that we're providing the right type of professional learning for our teachers, or we can really use data to make informed decisions. And so something that we've started this year is this concept of learning walks. So Dr. Carlson and I have been in classrooms, her more so than I, and she's doing a great job with that, to really look for trends and how do we provide the most efficient and effective professional development for our teachers. So Dr. Carlson, do you want to talk about learning walks a little bit?
Sure, absolutely. So our first learning walks took place at the very beginning of this month, and this is really where our school implementation team comes in. So we have this district level team that really led out our work in our instructional framework, and will lead out some district level things. And then we also have our school implementation teams. And really the purpose of these teams, and we've kind of said this, is we know now what we want that instruction to look like. We have determined at a level with everybody on board, all of our stakeholders involved, we've determined what we feel this high quality instruction should look like. And what we really want to do is make sure that then now we're doing it, now that our actions are consistent in the classrooms. So we want to make sure that we're implementing this with fidelity. So our learning walks really help us as a school implementation team. They are teachers from those buildings, staff from the buildings that are helping us collect this information. And we're looking for building level trends. So things that we are seeing at a building. We're walking in, we're seeing instruction, we're seeing it through the eyes of kids, and we're looking for these things that we now have determined are really important. So we spent time at the beginning of this month in classrooms observing in all of the buildings with our team of teachers right alongside of us. And we just looked for areas of strength. We called them our glows and our grows, looked for areas of strength, which we saw so many. We saw so many things that were going really well within our classrooms. And then we tried to walk away with maybe one area of growth for every building, something that we could work on at a building level. And then also from a district-wide, what trends did we see at a district level that we saw, that we realized that we want to be working on for everyone. And that will help to inform then our district-wide professional development that we do on our Teacher Institute days or our school improvement days. And then within a building, our school implementation teams will help us to lead out some of that professional development within their buildings as well, because we know not everybody needs the same thing. Just like we differentiate for our kids, we want to be able to differentiate for our teachers. And we've heard from so many of them that nobody wants professional development that isn't applicable to them. So we want to make sure that we're meeting everybody's needs where they are. And one of the other super cool things that I feel like came from this is we saw different strengths with so many of our teachers that really then we can build capacity with what we already have. We have wonderful experts in so many areas within our school buildings, and they will really be able to help us to professionally develop those around them. So we learn best from each other, and we want to be able to provide them opportunities for that.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes, we are so excited to go down this journey together. It's important that we're able to support our teachers in a very targeted way and make sure that we respond to their needs and do so efficiently and effectively. And I'm just can't wait to see where this journey leads us. So our next goal that we're really going to walk through with you, and Ashley is going to take the lead on this, is we've done some big overhaul in terms of curriculum review and development. And so Ashley, I just want to start with like a basic question. So what is curriculum? Tell us what that is.
It is the what that they're doing every single day. It is what we are putting in front of kids. It is based on our standards, and it's what we are teaching them. And we need to make sure that, and we'll talk about it being vertically and horizontally aligned, we need to make sure that what we are putting in front of them is what they need in order to be successful, both within their school year and in the following school year, and then in life. So it is the what of every single day that kids are doing at school.
I love that analogy. I think it's so important too. We want to be able to put high quality materials in front of kids and teachers. I think a lot of times too, teachers, we were just in a curriculum meeting right before this, and they spend so much time searching for resources, and we really want to remove that from them. We want to be able to provide them the resources that they need to successfully teach our kids, and that they can do so effectively and efficiently. And again, that they're not spending time looking for high quality resources, that we're putting that in front of them, and that they're really spending time planning for high quality instruction.
Yeah,
So talk
it's
to
the
us a little
tools
bit.
it's the tools they use every day, and we can't expect teachers to be teaching kids without tools. So we want to give them what they need. So that is some of the work that we have really been focusing on. I like this slide. This is something that we've talked to teachers about. We know that there is so much that they are expected to do every single day, and this kind of gives you an example of how many benchmarks there are for students, how many standards. We base everything that we do on standards. We want students to be learning this standards, the expectations that they have. We want those to be common for them. But if you look at an average K-12 learning experience for a child, there's 3,500 standards that they're expected to learn. And this kind of gives you an example of how many hours of class time are available, how many actual hours of instruction time that is once you take out things like lunch and transition times and everything else, and how many hours would actually be needed to teach those standards. And there is just so much. So what we've really tried to do this year is provide focus. We've looked at selecting priority standards for our teachers. They have selected priority standards. We worked with them through this process, looking at of all of the standards that they have for every grade level for each content area, which of those are necessary for readiness for the next level? Which do students have to have mastered in order to be able to be successful in the next level? Which standards have endurance, meaning that they are lifelong standards? They're things that students need in order to be successful in life. Which standards have leverage, which math standards also are very important in science, or which ELA standards are also really important in social studies. So looking at which standards have leverage in other content areas, and then which of those actually align to assessments that they will be taking, be it future ACT, SAT, their IAR assessments each year. So really looking at each and every standard and really walking it through these 4 criteria in order to select those priorities. And this allows us to give teachers focus. And really what we heard from teachers after that process was, they were able to kind of take a deep breath. We took the 30 some standards and we've come away with 15. Let's focus on these 15. It is important to remember that that doesn't mean that we're not teaching all of the standards. It doesn't mean that we're not touching on them or we're just forgetting about them. But these priorities that we've selected are really the ones that we are going to focus on, that we're going to really guarantee that students are able to master by the end of the year. These are the ones that we'll base those common assessments around. So it enables us to provide focus for all of our teachers. So that was kind of where we began some of our curriculum alignment work.
That is just so important too. Teachers absolutely need focus. We need to make sure that we're taking things off of their plate so that they have the ability to teach kids more effectively.
Absolutely.
Vertical and horizontal. Those are some big words to talk about. Yeah.
So this was all kind of part of this same process. So we really started looking at our standards. We know that all curriculum starts with standards, and we really started looking at our standards at building grade level teams first. So we had, be it our first grade team at Northeast looking at their standards, and our first grade team at Southwest looking at their standards, and all of those grade level teams began their work in isolation. They then brought all of their priority standards that they had selected, they brought them to a district level team. So then they met all together to really kind of determine, they all have to have the same priority standards. We need a first grade standard at one building to be the same as a first grade priority standard at another building. So they met as grade level teams next. And that is really doing that horizontal alignment, aligning across the schools at the same grade level. So we want to make sure that we all have picked consistent priorities, that we all feel match those criteria. and that would be horizontal. And from there, then we began meeting as district content teams. So really kind of taking our math experts first from all of our buildings and having them serve on a math content team. We took ELA experts and had them serve on those ELA content teams. And we began to do that vertical alignment. We had them meet as teams, and you can kind of see here in some of these pictures, we had them meet as teams across grade levels and look at the priority standards that they selected, and had our first grade teachers talk with our second grade teachers. Are we making sure, are these priorities that we've selected ones that you also feel are important for a student to be successful in second grade? And our second grade teachers meeting with our third grade teachers and making sure that we had that alignment from pre-K to 8. And then also recognizing this year, we've also started some of that work with the high school as well, making sure that our middle school teams are also meeting with the high school, because we have to make sure that we are aligned with what those needs are going to be for them as well. So that was the vertical and horizontal work that we've begun to do.
Well, and something I recall too vividly hearing from our community in terms of our strategic planning process was that we wanted alignment between all 4 quadrants as well. And that we ensured that there was equity and access for all of our students, regardless of where their home school was, and that we were providing, high quality resources and high quality, education to all students, and that there was consistency throughout the district. And, when I think about Evergreen Park too, I'm sure you agree, it's a beautiful world. We have 4 buildings that feed into one middle school. And when we have consistency, it really allows for that connection when they all head to Central Middle School as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And all of this work kind of does ensure that consistency that they'll have across all of the buildings.
Right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, mathematics, all the fun math that all parents love, right, Ashley?
This was kind of my favorite. We recognized once we did that priority standards work, we really then needed to, like we talked about, the tools. Teachers need the tools. So we wanted to make sure that once we had determined our priority standards, that we had tools that would meet our needs here at Evergreen Park. So we, looking at what we had, this circle kind of represents, we had K2 that was using a program called Goal Math. Our 3rd through 5th graders were using Eureka, and our 6th to 8th graders were using Glencoe. And what we found, what we heard from teachers, what we heard from community members, was that we needed consistency, especially when you're talking about something like math. Students need to learn from a common program, and having our 3rd grade students switching to something different at their grade level really was setting them back, and then having them switch again at 6th grade to something different. While math might seem like math across the board, there really is difference in the words that are used in the vocabulary that is used in how things are taught and things like that. So we wanted to provide them with that consistency. So that district level content team that I talked about, we kind of got all of our teachers that wanted to participate in this regarding mathematics. We got them all together, and they did that priority standards work and aligned things vertically. And then we began to look at programming, and we looked at the 3 programs that we had in order to determine which was most highly rated, which was most research-based, which was most aligned to the work that we want to do here, be it our instructional framework and our priority standards. And unanimously, that group decided on Eureka Math Squared. So Eureka Math kind of came out with a new and improved version, be it that Eureka Math Squared. And so we are implementing that this year, grades K to 6. 7th grade is dabbling in it a little bit, using it kind of hybrid, so to speak, in 7th grade, and then they will be fully implemented in 7th grade and then 8th grade the following year. So kind of easing those students in the middle school, as they had already adjusted to Glencoe. We didn't want to switch them again. So I've been meeting with our teacher teams, and I've been getting feedback forms from them regularly. And so far, they're really pleased with with how it is going. Some of the things that we're hearing is that Eureka Math really meets our needs as far as rigor. We want a program that has high expectations for students, that does speak to the priority standards that we've selected, and also one that really demonstrates conceptual understanding for students, as well as increasing number sense. Everybody wants students to be able to do their basic facts. So by improving that number sense for kids, we will strengthen their math brains, so to speak. So we felt that Eureka Math Squared did that, and they're doing it this year consistently across all buildings and all grade levels at the elementary school. So that's exciting.
It is so exciting. I actually had the opportunity yesterday to be in a building and meet with some teachers on math planning, and it was a 4th and 5th grade team, but was so interesting to me. Even though they shifted from Eureka to Eureka Math Squared, they're still noticing extreme improvement and just accessibility for students, as well as it seems more user friendly for teachers, which I think is just so important for just everyday teaching.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited about that for our students.
Me too.
And then we get to ELA. So exciting. We've got some pilots going on. So tell us about these pilots.
We did not stop with math. So because we were feeling super ambitious in our teachers, I mean, I just cannot say enough about their willingness to jump in with 2 feet. They are ready to do the work, and they're wanting to do the work, and that's really exciting. Math or ELA, we did not have 3 programs that we were already using. So we are doing an actual pilot process with an ELA curriculum. So similarly to math, once we had done some of that priority standards work last spring, we brought together an ELA committee, and they began looking at the ELA programming that we had in place. And really decided that they wanted to pilot something else that they felt something would better meet their needs. So we looked at all programs that were highly rated on this report called Ed Reports, that really looks at curriculums and aligns them and ensures that they are research-based. It's kind of like a brain trust for all of us when we're looking at curriculum. So these were all ones that were highly rated using that resource. And heard from these programs and decided that these were the ones that they were wanting to pilot. So we have Amplify, which is CKLA, and Wonders, and that at the K5 level, and then at the 6-8 level at Central Middle School, they are piloting HMH into literature, and then they are also piloting this study sync. So when we pilot something, we really want to set our purpose. We don't want to just teach it to teach it. We want to be looking for specific things. We want to have different priorities for the pilot. So we determined as a committee, what are our priorities? What are we looking for in whatever it is that we decide to put in front of kids? So those priorities were strong foundational skills. We want to make sure that when we are teaching students to read, particularly at the K2 level, that we are providing them opportunities to do just that science of reading when it comes to their phonemic awareness and their phonics skills and all of those things. We're providing them with those foundational skills. So we wanted it to be strong in that aspect. We wanted it to be comprehensive. We want as much as we can include in our ELA, be it grammar and foundational skills and writing and reading. We wanted to make sure that it was strong in all areas. We wanted it to be culturally responsive. So we are using a tool in order to make sure that whatever we are deciding on meets our needs as far as our equity committee and our equity work. We want it to be usable for teachers. We know that some of these things require so much extra that goes into them. So we wanted our teachers to feel that this is doable for them on the day-to-day.
Right.
Want it to have the rigor that we need. So we want it to speak to our priority standards. We want it to be aligned to that. And we want to make sure that it is, the expectations are high enough for our students. So we wanted it to have all of those aspects. Now, we just talked about the curriculum meeting that we just had. We know that no program is going to be perfect in all areas. So we are collecting data along the way. Our teachers who have so graciously volunteered to pilot these programs. We tried to get 2 at every grade level in various buildings. Our teachers are collecting data along the way. They're determining how long is it taking me to plan for this unit? What minority groups might be represented in this text? What foundational skills are being addressed here? What priority standards are we assessing for? So they are looking at all of these different data points so that when we come back to meet following the pilots, we won't just be saying, oh, we liked this one best. We'll have actual data to support the decisions that we are making moving forward so that we can make sure that we are putting the best tools in the hands of our teachers so that they can provide that instruction for students.
That is just great work. And we are so proud of the teachers who decided to pilot these curriculums so we can hopefully make a decision. Are we set to make a decision hopefully by spring?
Spring, absolutely. Yep.
For implementation next fall. That is great news. I look forward to the results. I'm placing my bets a couple of different areas. We'll see where the cards fall. Okay, so we're gonna do a fun little game. And I again feel like you can really do this for me as our guest speaker for our first hashtag WeConnect.
Okay.
You know, I the theme. So I have some questions for you that I just kind of wanted to walk through and see how you responded based on some response from our community and teachers and things that we've heard. So my first question is, you know, Evergreen Park is just, again, they love our teachers and they should, because they always are doing everything that they can for our kids. So how is the district supporting teachers in the area of curriculum and instruction?
I feel that we really have intentionally worked to include teachers in every step of this process. We know, and you and I have spoken, they are the experts. They are on the front lines. They are in front of kids every single day, and they are doing the work. So they have to be a part of this every step of the way. So it's my hope that by including them and ensuring that they have a voice at the table, and that more than just having the voice, that we're listening to the voice and responding to the voice at the table, that they will feel supported. I know that when it comes to things like our pilots and rolling out new curriculum, that's a heavy load and that's asking a lot of anyone. But by continually reaching out and demonstrating that we're there to support them, hopefully they feel that. Also by reaching out for their feedback regularly along the way, by doing quick check-ins like we just did just a little bit ago this afternoon, by doing quick check-ins with our piloting teachers, asking them what they need, what's going well, what do we want to work on. It's my hope that they feel that support from this department, and just being present, being there for them at the buildings and in the classrooms, I think is important as well.
Absolutely. And it's just consistent, open communication. And when I think about like the through line in our strategic plan, it was a consistent pattern that teachers wanted a say in the decision-making process, and really working with them is a part of the journey and a part of being a partner in educating our students.
Absolutely.
Okay, next question. So how is the district responding to the cultural needs of our student population in curriculum and instruction?
This really kind of goes right along with the work that we're doing as far as our equity committee. Our equity committee has a specific strand for teaching and learning, and I work with a great group on that strand, and we found this wonderful resource by New York University. It's the Culturally Responsive Scoreboard, and so we have incorporated that scorecard, so to speak, into our data collection for our curriculum reviews. So we are making sure that we are adequately representing all populations within our curriculum, that the narratives that are being told are appropriate, and all of those things are taken into consideration in this scorecard. Now, again, going back to, we know that nothing is perfect and nothing's going to address all needs, but that scorecard will enable us to be able to determine where those gaps are, and then we will know where we need to supplement and where we need to do some extra work. So I feel like that's going to be a huge tool for us moving forward.
Yeah, and that's a valid point, that no curriculum is perfect. Every curriculum has gaps. Again, we look for trends and then determine where do we need to fill in, and again, provide resources where there might be a potential opportunity.
Yep.
Okay, and last question for you. So this is a big one, and I'm sure you have big goals because you're an overachiever. So when you think about, our strategic plan is set to be completed per se in 3 years, although the work is never done, right? It's the process of continuous improvement. We're always working to better the district, to better our kids. And so where do you wish, though, for the district to be after the completion of our strategic plan in 3 years?
My hope is that we are at a place where we can say that we have a guaranteed and viable curriculum that is aligned both horizontally and vertically, that meets the needs of our students, of all of our students, and that we have done that work, that we've put adequate tools in the hands of all of our teachers to be able to be teaching them each day to meet those needs of that curriculum, that we have common assessments, at least for ELA and math. I think that is so important to ensure that we have equitable expectations for all of our students in all grade levels, regardless of school. I want our professional development to be targeted to the needs of teachers based on that instructional framework that we've developed. I want our coaches to be able to use that as a tool to support teachers in their buildings, in their classrooms, which is where they're doing the work, which is so important. And I want us to be providing the support that they need between them and the school implementation teams. So those are kind of my major goals that I have.
Those are big goals, but I have no doubt that you will accomplish all those goals with our teachers. So
Hopefully.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Absolutely.
So you can tell today, I just want to state that, we had a lot of information that was shared. Our full strategic plan with all of our goals is actually located on our website. So that is always linked, and we will make sure to share a video of our recording today. I again want to say a big thank you to Dr. Carlson. Everyone give her a clap and round of applause. I'm just going to double check, make sure we didn't have any other questions that came in.
I don't see any questions.
Yeah, I don't see any, but that's okay. So we wanted to make sure that, we were able to have the opportunity to just share our journey with you today. And I'm just so proud of our teachers and our principals and our kids. And, every day they come to us, and I know everyone is working so diligently to provide them everything that they need to be successful in the area of curriculum and instruction. And again, I'm just so proud of our work and everything that we've done. And to all of our parents out there who might be watching and or decide to tune in after, we appreciate your partnership, and we just look forward to your continued support and encouragement. Absolutely. So thank you so much. This is our first #WeConnect webinar series. So Ashley, do you have any last minute words for the group?
I do not. I just appreciate, I love this work, and I appreciate having the opportunity to do it here and working alongside you, Dr. Woodland. I just think that it's a perfect match. So.
Well, thank you so much again. And we look forward to our next #WeConnect webinar series in the very near future.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Thanks.